So, as the title explains, what's it like to be alone in a foreign country? Well, obviously, you have to learn everything by yourself. You have to fit into the different ways of doing things. And obviously, you have to acclimatize to other things like the weather, the laws, the social customs. So there's a lot to do, and obviously, when you're alone, there's nobody that you can really rely on or that is really eager to help you, unless obviously you're paying for that support and advice. Obviously, this is a situation I find myself in. I do know some people. I don't live alone, but I do live with my parents. But my father, he's got schizophrenia, so he can't be relied upon, or you can't really have a normal engagement with him. And obviously, got my brother who's got a disability. He's got multiple sclerosis. So again, he's not somebody you can have a normal relationship with. And then you got my mother who's in denial about everything. She thinks that they are both fit and healthy, and she treats them as normal people, even though it's quite blatant to the way that they live and how their health situation, that they are not in a normal situation. But sometimes people are in denial about their loved ones, about how they are and who they are as people. So that's just something I have to accept. So pretty much I have nobody that I really have a meaningful human relationship with. So I consider myself a loner, alone. And obviously I do live in the UK and I wasn't born in this country. So I am a foreigner, even though I am legally entitled to live and work here. I still feel that way. So I was wondering what you guys have experienced a similar situation. How have you handled it? And how has it made you feel? For me, it's made me feel like that ultimately the world is a harsh, competitive place, and it doesn't always treat you the way that you expect it to treat you. Society, for example, you have to kind of, sometimes accept that things don't go as planned, and that's what I've done. Because before I used to get angry, I used to get upset, I used to say, "Why have I had to end up in this situation? What's so bad about me?" But also, as I got older, and I consider myself one of you know society's more experienced members, I have to accept that not there's no expectations in life. There's only the only certainty that you have once you're born is that you're going to die one day, and that's how I live my life every day. I don't live for dreams, I live for aspiration, because these are all things that ultimately are born out of expectation. So if you have expectations and they succeed, they can bring you a lot of gratification, joy, and happiness. If, however, things don't plan out the way you want them to, they can feel pretty demoralizing, deflating, and defeating. So it's all born out of your expectation, and obviously the higher they are, the higher the high or the lower the low. If they don't come to fruition, or if they do come to fruition, so it's just the way that it is. Life doesn't work out as expected, as one would hope for themselves, and that's fine. And it's part of the human journey. If everybody's life was successful, there wouldn't be so much pain and suffering, or emotional and mental distress. So, especially in this country here in the UK, if you read the statistics, mental health problems are on the rise. There's a lot of people suffering with depression, anxiety, and obviously, the more serious ones such as psychosis, schizophrenia, neurosis. There's all sorts of conditions. So it's very, very problematic for this country. Is it the, I want to argue, is it the weather? Obviously, here in the UK, there's less sunshine. It's more rainy, and it's colder. So and obviously, the culture here is more. I would say there's more of a decadent, consumeristic culture here. They like to drink. A lot of consumption of alcohol is high. Consumption of recreational drugs is high. Cigarettes again high. It's pretty much the culture revolves around that. It's either either pubs or the recreational cigarettes at work, because you can't drink during work hours in this country. Obviously, they want the employees, they pay you, and it's not because they care about your health. It's just they want you to be as productive as possible when you're in work, because for them, you're a cost. They pay you to be there at the end of the day. Even wages in this country haven't grown anything for the last 20 years, and pretty much people are poorer now than 20 years ago. They still want to maximize your output when you are working, and they want you to be sober and alert and vigilant and ready to undertake whatever tasks it is that you can do. So, yeah, I mean, obviously I'm alone here. For me, it means that the calendar year doesn't have any celebration. Every day is the same. And sometimes it can get a bit tedious and pointless. You feel like, well, if nobody cares about you, why should you try in life? Why should you bother to achieve anything or to do anything? Because ultimately, if you do, there's nobody to celebrate it with. There's nobody that really congratulates you. And I learned that in life, it's really all about self gratification ultimately, and especially in modern society. If you do something, it's good that you first and foremost think, I'm going to get real good satisfaction out of achieving this, or I really feel sense of purpose before you consider what others might do. Because if you live through others, it's usually not going to, it's not going to give you that sense of purpose anyway. So you have to find it within yourself. And for me, I've decided that if success or things like that, it's only society builds that image of success, because successful people will generate wealth and well-being. So that's why there's an agenda that successful people are somehow perceived to be mightier and holier and better people than non-successful types. But in religion, for example, especially Christianity, it's the poor poverty that's considered to be virtuous. It's considered to be virtuous. It's not having that greed or selfishness that you just want to achieve things for yourself at all costs, whether it's wealth, fame, success in a profession. It's more about being humble, accepting the gifts of life, and just not being too demanding about materialistic things. And I'm veering more towards that because I think it makes you more humble, and in a way, it doesn't raise your expectations so high that then you're gonna feel like you always have to be on a pedestal having to achieve these heights. And if you don't, you pretty much gonna feel pretty crap about yourself. For me, I don't care anymore. If I die without somebody even caring about me, that's fine. I accepted it because ultimately I live for myself. That's the moral line. And if somebody lives for other people, especially people who don't really appreciate you, or who eventually end up betraying you or replacing you, then you're still gonna feel crap about yourself no matter what achievements. But anyway, for me, like I said, I've learned a lot being alone, not having anybody to rely upon. I realize how individualistic society is. Probably more so than if you have a lot of loving family around you that give you that smoke screen that you're somehow valued and appreciated. But in reality, outside of your family, there's no one that really gives too much thought about what you achieve or what you don't achieve. People just are too busy uh, either either pursuing their own needs, their own pleasures, or their own dreams and what they want from life. So if you don't, for me, I have no respect for anyone that's achieved all the kind of success in the world. I have no more respect than somebody, for example, who's sleeping on the street, because at the end of the day, each one of them is mortal and they all have the same needs. And just because somebody's achieved more in life, it doesn't mean that they are a special, a more special human being. It's good for them if it brings them gratification and joy and a more comfortable materialistic life. From a selfish point of view, it's good for them, but it's not good for me. For example, for me, there's no difference from somebody who sleeps rough to somebody who achieves success. It's the same thing for me. Anyway, let me know what you guys think, and let me know your experiences of solitude, loneliness, and feeling uh, disenchanted from society. Thank you.